into today's training. And before I do my trainings, I always, spend time with myself, meditating and really feeling what where the team is at, the spirit of the team, the mentality of the team. And that's how I come up with various trainings. And you guys hear me talk about the fact that CoopLife is bar none the greatest opportunity or project on the face of the planet. You may hear other leaders from various opportunities say that, but I mean that wholeheartedly, and it's based not on biasness, but it's truly based on experience. When I look at my years of business experience, online and offline, and it culminates to this right here, CoopLife, I'm here to tell you that we are literally being ushered into a whole another society globally, whether you realize it or not. And CoopLife is going to be on the cutting edge. We're in the pole position to help people make that transition. I mean, let's face it, we've all heard it. We've heard, build back better, the new normal, the great reset, everything that's happening around the world. We're being squeezed and people are feeling more insecure than ever before. People are looking over their shoulders, not knowing who to trust and all that. And that's why I always say in my presentation and training, we're looking to be the change that we want to see in the world. So this is not just a project, this is about community. And as we move into this brand new economy, it's going to be very, very important that people around the world find an ecosystem, that they find a community that they can plug into with like-minded individuals moving in the same direction to effectuate the kind of change and to buffer the financial and social tsunami that is coming if you're not prepared. So today I want to talk to you guys about understanding how to multiply your income without working harder. And it's based on eliminate, automate, and delegate. And so what do I mean by that? I'm talking about in order for us to take our lives and our business to the next level, it requires the next level of thinking. And so when you think about that, it's about you guys and all of us beginning with the end in mind. We're being ushered into a new economy. The industrial age is over with, people. And what I want to share with you guys is that it's going to require you to go from that industrial age thinking into the cooperative age thinking. And what do I mean by that? The industrial age entered in the 40-hour work week. Ford created the 40-hour work week, work 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire off of 40% of what you couldn't afford to live off in the first place. And so it created a mentality, a culture of behavior, which was predicated on urgency and importance. And so you had bills to pay and you had to prioritize what's more important. And people were doing busy work. And then people thought that they had to diversify in order to make ends meet. And what I'm suggesting to you is this, that there's a new way of thinking that you're going to have to adopt. And it's not based on urgency and importance, okay? It's based on significance. And that's how long what you do matters. In other words, we're being ushered into the new technological age, blockchain, if you will. We're talking about artificial intelligence. We're talking about genetic modification. We're talking about quantum computers. So we're moving at the speed of light. So if the industrial age thinking was a square, the new economy, the new way of doing business in the new cooperative age is a cube. It's multi-dimensional. And so you have to begin with the end in mind, and you have to do something that is significant, meaning how long will this matter? So when you look at what CoopLife has put in place, we're talking about a donation base that's built on the blockchain. We're dealing in cryptocurrency, and you don't have to be a crypto expert to understand. But what I do want you guys to understand, for those of you that are involved in various crypto deals, one of the things that's happened is that people are looking at it just to make money, all of these different deals. And what cryptocurrency really was trying to usher in was control for humanity. It was the people's money, if you will. It was about really removing the middle people out of the equation and having a peer-to-peer transaction. And that's what it was really all about. And it's been turned into something else in terms of pump and dumps and money grabs. What I love about CoopLife is that even though our ecosystem is built on the blockchain and Ethereum, what we are actually doing is allowing people in a peer-to-peer environment to take more control. We have the digital wallet. We have our own invoices. We have these crowdfunding systems, which is so different from network marketing. And I'm going to share with you guys at the end of this training why we are not network marketing, because I hear that out in the field. Oh, this is like, it's not. The small nuances make all the difference in the world. So we're going to talk about eliminate, automate, and delegate in that order. So when we talk about eliminate, I'm talking about basically eliminating industrial age thinking in terms of urgency and importance. How soon does it matter? Okay, does it really matter? I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. I don't have time to get on the training. I don't have time to do co-op life. And you're missing out on the most significant opportunity in your life to effectuate change. I had a conversation with one of our leaders, Ursula Gaynor, out of Riverside, California, and she was going to school to get her PhD in nursing. She's one of the hardest working women I know. She has a huge heart. She gives. She's tried many things, and she was going to get her PhD in nursing because she wanted to make more money to support her causes and her family. And she called me. She said, "Greg, what should I do? And should I, stop going to school, or should I put my effort into co-op life?" And obviously, she had to make her decision. But I asked her, and I said to her, if the name of the game is to basically to retire and to multiply your income, then co-op life is where it's at. And I meant that wholeheartedly. So you're going to have to eliminate some things off of your plate. What do I mean by that? There's people that say, well, I don't have time to do the training. I don't have time, to talk to people. I don't have time to do this, and that. That's industrial age thinking, because here's the deal. Nielsen has reported in a survey that the average American, the average human being, watches 28 hours of TV on a weekly basis. That's 4 hours a day watching TV, Netflix, your favorite television showing things of that nature, and you say you don't have time. 28 hours a week, that's a part-time job, people. So if you're going to multiply your life and multiply your income, you're going to have to learn to eliminate. In other words, you're going to have to look at what's on your plate. And you're going to have to understand and begin with the end in mind. Is it significant? In other words, is it going to take me to my ultimate goal? Is it going to take me to the lifestyle that I'm going to create by design? Or am I going to continue to live a life by default that's stuck in the industrial age thinking? And so I know that there's a lot of baby boomers on here, maybe Gen X, and they talk about it's hard to teach old dog new tricks. You're going to have to learn the new trick, and it starts with your thinking up front. Because technology is growing and it's multiplying. We're moving at a rapid pace. Social media even hasn't even been around more than 20 years, but it feels like it's been around for hundreds of years. All of this stuff is brand new. These smartphone devices haven't even been around for 20 years. I want you guys to understand how quickly technology is moving, and we're in the new age. So you're going to have to eliminate that. So the first step, okay, to multiplying your income, all right, and multiplying your donations in your business and the kind of change, is that you're going to have to eliminate some things. And that's up to you to decide the order of importance and what is significant in your life, okay? Now, once you do that, that's when you begin to multiply and you move into automate. Now, let's talk about automate. Automation, we've heard of compounding interest. So compounding interest is where money makes you more money. When you automate, it's about time. That's where time allows you to have more time. Automation allows you to have more time. So case in point, I used to do a training. I used to ask people, I used to say, hey, who washes the clothes, in your house? And, people raise their hand. And then I said, well, do you really wash the clothes, or does the machine wash the clothes? They said, oh, well, the machine washes the clothes. Absolutely. Because there was a day and time where people had to physically go to a river and wash their clothes physically. Now, because of automation, you're able to take your clothes and just dump it in the washing machine. It does the washing for you, and then you go ahead and you put it into a dryer, and it does the drying for you. So automation turns time into more time. Now, for those people that say, well, Greg, when it comes to time, I don't have time. Or time management was the buzzword from the industrial age. I want you guys to get rid of that time management thinking, because that's industrial age conditioning, because you can't manage time. You can't reverse time. You can't make it go any faster or anything like that. But what you do have is you have more self-management. Self-management is what it's all about. And that's making the decision on what you're going to do with the time that you have. And that's why it's so important to determine what is significant in your life. In other words, what kind of vision, what's the vision that you have for your life ultimately? Because if you stay in the industrial age thinking, family, I'm here to tell you, all you're going to do is spin plates. The beautiful thing about Co-op Life is this, is that it is the one thing that can multiply your life. It's not about diversify, it's about multiply. Diversify was industrial age thinking, and you're gonna spin a whole bunch of plates. But when you multiply, now you're able to have elimination and automation. So I want you guys to think about what we have in Co-op Life. We have the digital wallet, people. This is an absolute game changer. David Rose and his programmers own that, control that, put that together in our ecosystem. There's no third party that does that. We have that. We have Co-op Pay. No other third party has that. We have that. It goes back to what I used to say before, that we own the track without betting on the horses. The horses are the shining objects. The horses are the pump and dumps. Now, I'm not here to knock those things that people may do, because I understand there's some leaders that are savvy enough to know when to get in and out of things. But if you're taking people from business to business to business and they're not successful, it's time to find the track that you can own, that people can basically plant their tent, plant their staff, and really build something significant once again. So we have the digital wallet. We have the Mobius Loop technology. All right. We also have something that's going to be coming out here shortly. I'm not at liberty to go any further. But when I tell you the system that we're coming out with, the prove it for free, the whole that goes with the Co-op crowd system, that marketing tool is the greatest marketing tool in the history of online business. I'm here to tell you what I know. I've had a sneak peek at it. When you guys see this, it is going to lower the bar so low that people that may not have a huge network will be able to leverage, let me give you guys this, leverage social media in a way that will help them build their business. People, I'm just telling you, this is the greatest thing on the planet. So we have the digital wallet, we have the Mobius Loop technology, and then we have the Prove It Free system that's coming out because of the Co-op crowd. Now, automation. Now, there's some things that you can't automate. And whatever you can't automate, then you're going to move to delegate. So there's things you have to eliminate. Then there's things that you can automate. But if you can't automate it, then you have to learn to delegate. And this is where leverage comes into play. Now, the things that you can leverage are people and money. The problem with pump and dumps and some of these deals out here is that people are looking to automate the money. They're looking to put their money into something that automatically is going to pay them 2%, 5% daily, and they don't have to do anything. And then they're surprised when it folds because the people grab the money and they run. You can't necessarily automate the money, but you can delegate money. In other words, you can employ money. But before I get into that, let's talk about people. This is about leadership development, all right? Last week, we talked about that. We dive deep into that. Leadership development is so much where it is at. And that's why everyone on this line is going to have to really engage and to become a leader. You'll want to learn how to present this information. You'll want to learn how to train. You'll want to learn how to inspire your people. We want each and every one of you to bring your gifts and your talents to this community, because a rising tide raises all ships, okay? So what I realized is that I was involved in other deals before, like network marketing and in a high ticket as well. And I was always able to hit the top or near the top of the various compensation plans, but I never did those deals just for me. I wanted to see my team win. And so I tried a couple different things, and then I sat still until Co-op Life, because what I realized is that great performers don't always make the greatest leaders either. So you have some leaders out there that are great performers. In other words, they can go ahead and they can hit the top of the compensation plan, but they don't necessarily make great leaders because they're not patient enough to train other people on what they need to do. So what do I mean by that? And I'm talking to you guys as leaders and aspiring leaders. You want to get into a position where you're able to train others. So let's say you're doing a task in your life that takes you, let's say, 5 minutes to do yourself. And typically, you know, it's worthy of your time. If it takes you 5 minutes a day to do it, it's worthy of your time to take 30 minutes to teach somebody else how to do it. All right. Because see, sometimes people have this mentality that if it's going to get done, I need to do it, because it's not going to get done right if I do it. And so understand this, wealth will hide itself from people who are not patient enough to train others, but it will reveal itself to those who are patient enough to train other people. And that's what it's really all about. So automation is good, but you can't just automate everything. I got people, they just want to, they don't even talk to people. They just want to buy leads, dump it into a funnel. It does all the work for them and it spits out cash because they don't have the patience to deal with people. They don't want to be bothered with people, but it's people that makes the world go around. And that's what Co-op Life is all about. So you want to be able to delegate. If you want to delegate, you're going to have to train other people. And so as a leader, it's not always about doing it right. Sometimes it's about getting other people to do the job as well. And so everything that's happening in Co-op Life, it's because we have a team of leaders that step up. You know, we have Daryl Thompson that steps up when needed. You know, we have Nicole that steps up, Nalani that steps up. We have Dap Dunbar that steps up. Okay, we have various leaders. And if I'm missing anybody, my apologies. I just want you guys to understand that I'm talking to you guys. This is a locker room talk. You are a leader, or you're a leader in training, but you don't stop with yourself. You have to duplicate through developing other leaders within your organization. Now, let's talk about money. You can't necessarily automate money, but you can delegate money. In other words, we're talking about employing money. You know, one of my brands is Smarter Than Money, and something that Robert T. Kiyosaki, had said many years ago. And he said, listen, as long as money is smarter than you, you're going to always be a slave to it. So for those of you, and this is no knock, but if you're trading time for money, in other words, if your money is only dependent on you exchanging time for it, money, dead presidents, digits are smarter than you, and you are a powerful spiritual being. So it's about learning about money, but they don't teach us about money in school on purpose because they want you to be a cog in their system. In Co-op Life, we want you to be smarter than money. We want you to have the cooperative lifestyle. So you're able to employ money to do work for you in this scenario here. So when you do this, when you put money into the crowdfunding scenario, so we have Co-op 50-50, and then we all, then we also have Co-op Crowd. So it's not about getting 3 people to do heavy lifting, heavy work. It's about identifying 3 or more people that want to be smarter than money. It's about finding 3 or more people that we want to teach them how to employ their money and make their money go to work for them in an automated system. Does that make sense to you guys? So for those of you that say, well, I don't know if I can find my 3 people, it's because you're not looking at it from the right lens. And if you just change your perspective a few degrees from the left and to the right and understand that this is not about people at work, this is about dead presidents, digits, money at work, so that we can have the lifestyle of our dreams. And so you have to eliminate, you have to then automate, and the things that you cannot automate, you delegate. And you delegate by developing leaders, and then you delegate by also employing money to go to work for you. Now, here's the thing about people that think that they can just automate money. It's all about control, all right? Having control is not risky, but when you don't have control, that's risky. And what do I mean by that? Many people are cool with putting their money in a mutual fund. People try to liken crowdfunding more to gifting or flowers, when it's more like closer to a mutual fund. I want you guys to think about that for a moment. What is a mutual fund that everybody believes in, they don't have any problem doing, but a mutual fund is no different than, let's just say this bottle of water right here. And let's say this bottle represents the funds and it's made up of different stocks or whatever the case may be. And let's say the liquid in here is money. So what they're doing is they're getting a whole bunch of people to put their money into this fund, and they're mutually funding it. Now, you give your money to a financial advisor, right? Now, I want you guys to understand this, and I've done this over the years because I have people that knock on my door, they give me phone calls, they want to sit down with me and give me financial advice. And I always, toy with the financial advisor. So the financial advisor wants me to give them my money, and they're going to take my money and put it into a mutual fund. Every time I sit down with a financial advisor, I ask them, I said, well, listen, I may want to do business with you. You seem like a sharp person, but let me see your portfolio. Let me see how your money is working in the mutual funds that you're advising me that I should put my money in. And not one can show me, because they're not financial advisors. They're salespeople. They're glorified salespeople. They make their money off of commission and maintenance fees. And yet we give our money to those people because we think mutual funds are so great because that's the narrative that they've given us. And it's not. You have no control. And that is what's risky. Here in a crowd fund, we have control. We're completely transparent. We get 100% of all donation that comes to us, 100%. And you know where the money's going. Think about that for a moment. So we have more control than ever before. That's number one. But then when you think about cryptocurrency, the people's money, not fiat currency, and I want to encourage you guys to increase your financial education. Understand important dates like 1913, the Federal Reserve Act. There's a book out there that you guys can get. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Isle by C. Edward Griffin. I believe Thomas Dubois talked about that on one of our All Things Crypto training that we had. We got to become financially astute what's going on. So 1913, the Federal Reserve Act, you can read about that. Robert T. Kiyosaki talks about that. 1970 or 71, Richard Nixon took our money off of the gold standard, which means that our money is not backed by anything. They can just print it out of thin air. So now we come out with cryptocurrency. That's the people's money. It's an open ledger. It's permissionless. In other words, we don't need any middle people in the middle dictating how we spend our money. It is peer to peer. And so what happens in a cooperative, in the blockchain with cryptocurrency, it flattens the pyramidal corporate structure, if you will, and levels the playing field. And that's why we're so different even from network marketing, because network marketing, it's in the word, network marketing. They're marketing a product. And anytime you have a product, because of manufacturing, distribution, all the different things, administration, it's always going to create a pyramidal structure here. And that's why profit margins are so small. But we're doing peer-to-peer. We're dealing in money. We don't have a product that we are marketing. We're dealing in something that's essential for our day-to-day lives. And so because of cryptocurrency and the cooperatives, and we have a distributed network, it flattens, okay, the field, and it distributes the wealth like never before. Because cryptocurrency did not come from the bowels of government. It didn't come from the bowels of any corporate company out here like Microsoft or Google or anything. It came from programmers that wanted to see people win and take control. We have the master key like never before, but many people are overlooking this, and they're looking at how they can make money speculating cryptocurrency rather than understanding the social ramifications that finally, for one of the first times in human history, we can control our destiny as people. And that is what CoopLife is all about. And so I hope you guys are feeling my passion about this. And it's very, very important that you get this in yourselves, in your soul, so that when you're talking to people, you're not just talking to them and they're just hearing another business opportunity. You need to help them understand that this is bigger than them, that this is a movement that's taking place, and that we're in the pole position of a revolution that can really eradicate poverty all around the world. So let me go ahead and move on here and talk about the 5 stages of learning and teaching a new member. And this is where the delegation comes into play. So this is very, very simple. Now, if you're not in a position where you're in a leadership position where you're training and you have a team of people that's counting on you to keep the information concentrated, because one of the things that I realized that's happened, because duplication is so important, that it tends to get diluted when it leaves the source of origin of information. And so I'm encouraging you, and I want to really implore that each and every one of you, you are a leader in training, so that every person that gets this information, we are so tight. We're like a snowball. There is no dilution. We're concentrated as a community and as a family. And so these are the 5 stages of learning and teaching new members. So number 1, you just tell a member. Then number 2, you show them 3 to 5 times. So if you're doing a presentation, you tell them they're getting ready to do a presentation, or be prepared to do a presentation, or be prepared to do a training, because we're going to standardize everything. And then you show them 3 to 5 times. Then the 3rd stage is you just simply let them try. And then you observe the performance so that you can give them some constructive criticism so that you can manage the consequences. So every one of you, this is what you want to be in a position to do if you're working through these 5 stages, or you're teaching or delegating these 5 stages, is you tell a member, you show them 3 to 5 times, you let them try, You observe the performance, and then you simply manage the consequences. And you encourage them, and you inspire them, because people that have the courage to do these things, what you're doing is helping them realize that all courage does, it basically illuminates their intrinsic values, because everyone on this planet has a gift. And so these are the 5 stages of learning and teaching new members. Now, what members need to focus on? Here's the eliminate. You want to focus on self-improvement. Now, I know a lot of people think they've heard it all before, they've done it all before. I don't have time for self-improvement. I don't have time to read. But I talked to you guys about Nielsen says that the average person spends 28 hours a week watching TV, binging on Netflix. They can tell you about the latest soap opera and all this different kind of stuff. That's a part-time job. So if you eliminate that, imagine 28 hours to build your business, to work on your personal growth and self-development. Can you imagine the kind of leadership that we're going to be able to develop worldwide? Can you imagine the kind of change that we're going to be able to effectuate? Number 2, focus on your vision. Keep your vision in front of you. All right. I know a lot of you are trying, well, what's going on with Co-op Crowd? I need to know my numbers and all that. It's coming. Trust me, it is coming. But your vision is going to be more important than your knowledge at this moment in time. What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for your friends and your family and future generations? Your vision is what creates your precision. So no matter what's coming your way, there's a lot of stuff going on around the world. We all feel the wall squeezing in on us, but this is when you want to go deeper within yourself. You want to get still, and you want to find you want to find the wealth, the intel, because life is happening for you and it's not happening to you. Always remember that. No matter what you're experiencing, life is always happening for you and not to you. So keep your vision in front of you. Focus on surrounding yourself with members that are producing and not politicking. Find an accountability partner. There's various leaders that I talk to on a day-to-day basis to keep the fire going, to inspire each other. So you need to identify a handful of members on your team as a leader, your leadership team, and you guys should be talking on a day-to-day basis on what's going on, and playing these games with each other to keep the ball going. You don't want to have these huddles with people that's politicking about things. Oh, he didn't dot the I in the email, or he didn't cross the T here, or there's a problem with the wallet here. I mean, there's no one or anything that's infallible, okay? So one of the things that a mentor shared with me a lot of years ago, and it's something that I live by, he said, Greg, the ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. And when he first said it to me, I really didn't understand what he meant. It sounded cool. Intellectually, I understood it, but I've lived long enough to understand exactly what he means. The ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence, okay? And it really, really is, because no matter what's going on in the world, people's stories may be different, but everyone's pain is still the same. So number 4, focus on momentum and not donations. That's so very, very important. So what do I mean by that? Get your VBRs going, all right? Making sure that your VBRs are going, you're setting up VBRs, and focus on momentum. And I promise you the donations will follow. If you leapfrog and focus on donations, that's not happening, then you'll never do the things that's going to get to those donations. The first thing that you want to focus on is momentum, because momentum is much easier to steer than it is to get started, but you got to get it going. And that's what this call is all about. We got August 22nd right around the corner. Let's focus on momentum, and the donations will follow. Now, to that point, Co-op 50/50 is great. And David talks about it does the heavy lifting, and it does. But Co-op Crowd is the deal, because there's many leaders that remember, Co-op 50/50 is a 2x2. So you may have a huge organization beneath you, and you're not receiving benefit from that initially. But don't fret, because help is on the way. For those of you that stay diligent, okay, in working deep in your organization, there's one leader in particular that I can point to, Mr. Peter Jenkins, someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He's working deep in his organization, developing leaders. Guess what? It's going to pay off, because in Co-op Crowd, you're able to receive residual donations deep in your organization. So it was ingenious for us to come up with Co-op Crowd. So for those of you that's not in Co-op Crowd, you're missing the boat, because your organization has depth to it, and you want to benefit and maximize the depth in your organization. Number 5, focus on simplicity, focus on duplication, and leadership development. And that's how you're going to eliminate so that you can automate and then ultimately delegate. And as I wrap this thing up, you guys, here's the must for success in co-op life. And then I'm going to turn it over to Miss Nicole Jackson. She's going to give you guys a little bit of a marketing strategy. As number one, be willing to pay the price, team. Just be willing to pay the price, because no matter where you go, there you are. And you can go from deal to deal to deal if you want to, but if you're not willing to pay the price, all right, then you're never going to have success. We own the track without betting on the horses. Pay the price in this ecosystem here. Be willing to go through a season of pain for a lifetime of gain. It is so true. Pain is temporary, all right? It's seed time and harvest. It's give, share, and receive. Be willing to go through a season. That's it. A season of pain, of discomfort, in order to have a lifetime of gain, to have something significant in your life, to remove yourself from the industrial age thinking and to maximize technology and exponentially grow your business and your income. Number three, be non-negotiable. Have 100% belief in what it is that you're doing. And something that a CEO of a major network marketing company used to say at every convention, he would say 1% doubt and you're out. And it's so true. It's very, very important that you pad your belief level. And hopefully I've been able to do a little bit of that today to inoculate you, to help you understand the difference in terms of why co-op life is unique and different out there in the field. And it could be because we're too transparent. That could be it. Maybe people want to believe the hype and the things, the shiny objects out there. Maybe that's what people want. Remember that old movie where Jack Nicholson said to Tom Cruise, when Tom Cruise said, I want the truth, and Jack Nicholson turned around and said, you can't handle the truth. Maybe it's because people can't handle the truth. We're telling you the truth. This is the deal. It's transparent, but it requires you to have 100% belief. And I have 100% belief in co-op life. Number four, be able to sell the dream story and why co-op life makes sense. And that's the culmination of what I share with you guys today. We have the automation, we have the delegation, we have 100% donations, we have the digital wallet, we have the Mobius loop, okay? We get 100% donations once again. And in this season in life, with so many countries around the world, all right, going through economic turmoil, social turmoil, people, they need an ecosystem in a distributed network on the blockchain that they can count on, and they're counting on us. So I hope you guys got something out of today's training. And what I want to do at this moment in time, I'm gonna stop my screen share.